Welcome to Bullet Points. This time we're checking out Yakuza 6. Kazuma Kiryu has once again found himself doing time because of the Tojo clan. On release, he discovers that his daughter Haruka was struck by a car under mysterious circumstances. The biggest surprise to Kiryu is that Haruka had a secret of her own, a baby boy. He decides that it's best to take the child to find his father in Hiroshima, and as usual, he gets involved in the dealings of the Yakuza in a series of strange and twisted reveals.
お前の脳が聞いてるとこっちの予定が狂っちまうそんじゃったら安心せえ今日から先踊れの予定は全部白紙じゃ
What we liked. The new movement system in Yakuza 6 is completely overhauled from past games. The characters have weight to them, Kiryu bumps into things properly, and he even has some cool new idle animations. The combat ties in well with the improved animation system. It's smooth and fluid, and Kiryu can bounce between opponents much better than he could in previous games. It's still no Arkham Asylum, but now we have more control over Kiryu than we ever did before. The new animation system introduces a new physics system as well, so when you punch an enemy, they flop to the ground properly, or they'll go bounding across the map. It's hilariously glitchy as well, as enemies will sometimes just skyrocket for no reason into the air. Enemy encounters are now seamless. You can run up to a group of enemies and attack them immediately. The same goes for every interior. You can walk inside of an interior without seeing a loading screen, and the same goes for walking back outside. The world of Yakuza has never looked better. There are some fantastic facial animations and outstanding landscapes that are no longer just a thing you see in cutscenes. Store-bought items now provide lasting buffs like increased attack damage or EXP boosts. The same goes for the new Eat for Skill Point system, which plays a major part in the game. Eating food across the city will go hand in hand with the combat. And of course, what would this game be without activities? There are a ton of mini games like petting cats, playing Virtua Fighter 5, you can dive for fish. Like all Yakuza games, there's tons of activities to get lost in. There's a new random side quest app named Troubler. It introduces new superhero situations for Kiryu to solve. He can save people from thugs or even put out fires around the city. One of my favorite changes, and hopefully this goes on to all Yakuza games from now on, is that all sub-stories are fully voiced. No more reading to ourselves in the dark.
どうなってる
あれなんで私がそこに
なんだこれ目の前に俺がいる
どうなってるの
The game also introduces a new map system where you can activate it with the press of a touchpad, and there are actual waypoints available now. Do not like. Despite there being seamless movement between outdoor and interiors, there's still a bit of lag while walking around the city and fighting enemies. There are also sporadic moments of screen tearing. The heat actions in Yakuza 6 are very limited compared to games in the past. In previous Yakuza games, there would always be a weapon tied to a heat action. And now in this game, you'll end up doing the same animations over and over again, and there are very few unique heat actions compared to previous games. Now, I'm going to chalk that up to this new system, and hopefully when they release more games, there will be very unique actions for things on the streets, like riding bicycles over people's faces, throwing cones on somebody's head and then picking them up and throwing them, something like that. It's just missing that unique flavor from previous Yakuza games. Even after all these years, the lock-on system still isn't responsive enough. At least 40% of the time, Kiryu will lock onto air and stare into nothingness while his enemies pummel him from behind. There are very few characters from the old titles in this series, and when they do show up, they show up briefly and say almost nothing. It's kind of weird because this is supposed to be Kiryu's last game in the series. The skill interface is old school, like old school Yakuza 1 type menus, and it looks pretty garbage and it's really hard to sort through when you're trying to find something specific. It's so bad that they have the items separate from the equipment, and the equipment is in with the skill point system, and it's just weird. Characters still talk stiffly to each other in normal gameplay conversations. They'll just stand there looking doe-eyed, staring at nothing, and they'll keep their arms to the side and almost have no facial animation. In conclusion, Yakuza 6 is a great game, great new fighting system, one of the better open world games out there. It lets you explore the city better than any other previous titles and pretty much any open world games that are out right now. Yakuza 6 has a great storyline. I think this is the most in charge that I've ever seen Kazuma Kiryu. And there's only one problem, is that the mystery behind the mystery behind the mystery is sort of bland. It falls flat on its face. Now, that's not saying that the actual ending of the game falls flat or the main story of the game falls flat. It's just that the part that ties in between all of that is meh. Ultimately, though, this is a great send-off for Kazuma Kiryu and a great game for you to pick up. But, you know, that's your wallet. I don't know what to tell you other than for you to look at the bullet points, and I'll see you guys next time.